Happiness is difficult to define and quantify, but it is not hard to recognize. When you are happy, you know it. Happiness is not dependent on wealth, but on perspective. Even in poverty, there can be joy, memories, and gratitude. However, the right response to life, through discipline, appreciation, and faith, can transform one's circumstances and create a better future. Gratitude for small things and intentional living are key to true fulfillment. Welcome back to another episode based on the book Lessons of My Early Life by Dr. Charles Apoki. To get the book, please check the links in the description. You can also get both hard and soft copies on Amazon. Happiness is difficult to define and quantify, but it is not hard to recognize. When you are happy, you know it. Without the rich and without comparison, the poor hardly feel the pain of poverty. They have a way of deriving joy from life. An illiterate villager who kills a buffalo might be happier than an Obama who won an American presidential election. It is only when comparison comes in and the realization of differential societal acclaim is recognized that the happiness of the illiterate villager might be dampened. However, personally, the memories might just remain pleasant with time. I have tried to recall some of the things that brought joy to my life as a child. Our meals were monotonous. We ate a cassava meal called eba with soup in the morning, the same thing in the afternoon, and the same thing in the evening. We rarely ate rice, and that was usually on days like National Independence, anniversaries, Easter, Christmas, and New Year. We never celebrated birthdays. Another time we ate rice was during Sara ceremonies, usually organized by a woman seeking the fruit of the womb. She would cook rice, some stew, and beef, and all the children around her residence would be invited to eat. After eating, without washing their hands, the children would rub their oily and sometimes peppery hands on her belly. I won't tell you what some rascals would do if she was a wicked woman. We hardly ate chicken outside of these occasions. Sometimes, though, we had the privilege of buying hot meals cooked with firewood from food vendors who sold at night with kerosene lamps. My best memory is fried ripe plantain, usually soft, with rice and beef. The fried ripe plantain is called dodo in Nigeria. I can't understand to this day why my father called it ododo. Perhaps it was because his alias was ododo, which means flour. I ate every piece of dodo with joy. Today, just like then, every time I eat soft dodo, I remember my father and feel indebted to my children, particularly my last child, to leave pleasant memories in their minds. The problem with these children is that they are now more difficult to please. My last child used to select meals. He would choose between rice and spaghetti. Anytime we entered a taxi or a lorry, it was a source of great joy because we usually trekked long distances to school and other places. Today, I have about 8 buses, a car, and an SUV. My last child used to select the vehicle he hoped I would use to take him to school. The taxis then were black Morris Minor cars. They were also called Black Marias before prison vans bore the same alias. Anytime my father came to visit us in the village of my paternal grandmother, Ofwoma, he usually came with a few things from Wari, the township. 2 things were exceptional: bread and canned sardines or corned beef. If we ate the sardines, the can was a treasure. We would design a car with it. If it was pilchards, we made drinking cups with the containers. You dared not eat a tin of sardines on your own, else you were considered a potential thief. My last child eats sardines any time he chooses. Occasionally he ignores them. We had the rare privilege to drink soft drinks called Crola and Tango. You just had a little to drink. If you ate a whole egg on your own, It was considered an indication that you would become a thief. My wife says I am always excited by little things. Yes, why should I not be excited by things that others consider little? Imagine me in this hotel where I am writing this book with so much comfort, while I grew up in a thatch house and my father was a gateman in a hotel. Today I am a guest and all my expenses are paid for by my host. I have a variety of drinks in my refrigerator right now. Soon I will leave here for another hotel. Years after writing the previous sentence, I have slept in some of the most expensive hotels in Nigeria. My past has taught me to be grateful to God for very little things that others take for granted. The day I bought my first car, I woke up about 2 a.m. to make sure it was not a dream and to ensure that the car was still there. The day my eldest son went to Europe to study, I cried and cried out of gratitude to God that I went a step beyond my father. I was grateful that a descendant of this dysfunctional family was going beyond the shores of Africa, and that I could afford it without borrowing. I weep for joy as I write, because my father could not buy a suitcase or a suit for me when I went to medical school, but we could buy a suitcase full of clothes for him. 2 others have subsequently joined him. They have been to the United States of America to work. The eldest one is a surgical intern in Germany. In a few years, he will be a consultant orthopedic surgeon. When I see Barack Obama speak, I weep because one day it is possible that I will have a child, grandchild, or great-grandchild in a faraway land, making the black man proud. I see it in the eye of faith. The deep pit from where God picked me, and the level He has placed me, no matter how insignificant it may be to others, show me the great love God has shown me. I was in the Nigerian Army headquarters in 2009 to speak in one of their churches. I had a soldier attached to me to answer all my calls. As I spoke to the elite audience, I felt a great sense of gratitude to God. Every day for me is a thanksgiving. Even though I hated poverty and desired a better life, God has been gracious and faithful in ameliorating my background deficiency syndrome. God has shown reckless love towards my family and me. Respond to life. Do not react to it. How you were born, to whom you were born, and when you were born does not really matter. Your response is what matters. Mind what you say to children. It is carried in their minds. Happiness is not dependent on wealth, but on perspective. Even in poverty, there can be joy, memories, and gratitude. However, the right response to life through discipline, appreciation, and faith can transform one's circumstances and create a better future. Gratitude for small things and intentional living are key to true fulfillment. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember to check the links in the description to get your copy of Lessons of My Early Life. You can also get both hard and soft copies on Amazon. God bless you.